Atumome wa murutuku.
Wacha itike ng'ombe.
Misango panganda misango panganda Jameson,
kuna Jameson fiap sana.
Jameson babi kapintu sungu hii. Kimo chini.
Batika lutuku kala wama. Neve ya kukolopa Gladys na ufiumfa.
Awe shuanga bai tira Jameson kukolopa boy. Ichi temu iko chisa na benefit. Kukolopa. Nikolopa.com.
Hello. Good evening, Chiwempala. Good evening, Lusaka and Livingstone and Chipata and Mansa and Chembe and Milenge. Elias Munshahie on TV Bakwetu, and I'm joined by my co-host Gladys Storm and Himba Malambo on TV Bakwetu. Good evening, Himba. Good evening, Gladys, and welcome to TV Bakwetu. Let's do this.
Thank you. Good evening, our loveliest viewers. Greetings from Kuchalo cha Talala. Mupepi. Ati mupepi na kuisaba munsha.
At
Utalo
Denmark.
chatalala from Northern Europe. At Northern Europe, at Denmark, yava kwisa.
At it's next to Sweden. That's all we know about Denmark.
Mukwai. So mwashibukeni mukwai, chungulo mukwai, mwabombeni, mwaukabwanji, mwasebenza bwanji, muzwile sha mulikabo tuku afn or good day, mwapoleni mukwai, konsi oko mule tumfuila, kukabanga kumasamba. This is TV bakwetu, tuilabako no kuposha bachi wempala, mukwai. Over to you, Bahimba.
Thank you so much, by Gladys. Good evening, viewers. Tomwa humbwako mtuswilila ko mutulangilila mujipegu tomitambula kunoko tubede ku TV bakwetu tomwa nyiga yonse mbwizulwa tomwa gosingani kuchoma tomwa gona nduba gojiga nkata tomwa kuchimatamata twaha gomalala kumabwetu batomyaha ali mutomitambula ku TV bakwetu. Good evening, viewers.
Thank you. So we have a very special guest tonight, and he requires no introduction. And what we are seeing here is that there might be a little technical issue, and so we are hoping that this gets resolved as early as possible. Otherwise, Uncle Bob requires no introduction because he is a household name, and he is an artist of great pedigree, having been on the scene for many years, mentored several new artists, made us laugh, made us celebrate, made us happy. And so we are very happy to have him tonight, Uncle Bob. And so we are going to bring him as soon as we can. Gladys, what do you have to say about Uncle Bob?
What I have to say about Uncle Bob, for me, Uncle Bob is one of the people or one of the persons who has actually contributed to my probably looking young. You know, when you laugh so much, you keep looking young. Crack those ribs. Don't frown. The more you laugh, the more bakula mieva tininshi muwomfia, kanshi muwomfia fe Vaseline nenseko. And this is why we've brought Uncle Bob here, and we are interested in hearing his lifestyle and what is he up to today in this pandemic world.
But Gladys, you say that he has contributed to you looking young. Number, can we ask the question? If he has contributed to you looking young, Nishi, how old are you?
How old I am? My age is 23 years and half. Plus, the rest, we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So if he makes you look younger, Nishi makes you look younger than 23?
It makes me look younger than 23 years. The more I laugh, the more I watch his shows, the more I see his videos, I crack my ribs, and then all my wrinkles, they disappear. That's how he contributes. That's how he contributes to me looking young. So the secret is
Gladys muletila. Valetila baba 6 years ba munshaba Gladys.
Yeah. No, I want to.
Vaimba ushemwalishi bensamushi.
If you feel group 4. They don't even go to group 8, they move group 4. They don't need to improve.
Yeah. So we're going to wait to see. He was here, and so the connection might be a little bit tricky. And the reason is, I think, not quite the same emfula. Na iloka sana emfula. So emfula nga yaloka, I think it affects some waves mumwela, and so that could be contributing to lack of signal from Lusaka, and then other reasons we don't know. But nevertheless, this is Christmas. I can see that you are all in Christmas mood right now. Otherwise, Bahimba bali mufia kashika na Gladys bali mufia Gladys na bafuara na Father Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Where are you?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
I think you are ready. Na bahimba na bena. Bahimba ni Christmas yote.
Vamusha, we are in a party mood. Natamba chalila baby chalila natamba kala kuchilisha ifwe. Tulepokelela ba Yesu.
Na even if I'm wearing black, but ninkwata ko something that is Christmassy.
Tulangishe.
No, shamirange yo, huh? What? Mlenseka?
Wait, the Christmas today for Bamusha.
No, yeah, there is something nimfuala something Christmassy here, but yeah. So na inewe in holiday mood. Mwimone fifiafi damfuere. Also in holiday mood, particularly kumakasoko. Could be a very nice Christmas thing. Kumakasa, as usual. So we are still waiting for Bob Nkosha. So someone yesterday saw in a binoculars His Excellency the President had nabalwala sana kulingana na binoculars babo mfishe mairoba nagachinda. So in Nachipapo kumonaba akateka very much alert and swearing in 3 new appointees. What do you make of that? What was the deal with what Vanagachinda saw?
But those are the mwalishi bata abalwele limukutumule munafya tumuntu alenda nga balabe nabaire mkushita mabaino na bali mkushita yanyu bachi ba mu mashopu mkushita yanyu amabaino mule mona tumuntu na mkushita yanyu kanshi ifyela fyali sokoka mu mutwe mwamona fya timpu kanshi balwele mu mutwe basabaira fyenko balonga balalira ku left atefo balota baletina nechinshingo chabo nga batine chinshingo chabo atiyo bakateka balenkonga
Vamusha mwila itati bana kachinda nimwe bali rufyanye fintu. Such people in our culture, if you call bana kachinda, he feels respected. Kange beno muchinzi chinaba ufumya pali bena so tien tubete fyati nakachinda. That's what he wants. So bana kachinda kanunga ni bana kachinda adimbini, it comes from the mother. Bana ifutwa yako kuba nesu iti ni bana lombe bana mpundu probably na bena bali kwata omwana nakachinda otatwa ishiba echo babera ko panuno balafulungana ko panuno so nga bayingira mu binoculars ili aini anga ni binoculars kanunga ninshi ero bafulungana sana. The man twilo kuberera bana kachinda tubalegelele bamunsha kambo babadala tuyakupya ujulu tukapire fya mahala, you know. Pantu takwa fyo muntu fyo aba ifwe panga mono muntu wendo ifintu napa pa masaka tumuchitari rate nabali abatola mufishala so limbi na bena ngabena kuti baye bati bakateka bali lwala nabena kuti twabapalanyako kuba nesu bali aba who needs really support from us and from the community nabana kachinda needs support from the community namwishiwe fyoka pantu muntu fyo abafe no motetulenda ida binoculars tabala ndati yakubomfya olenda fe kwali boko ibomba not pali abayibomfya so tuberereko.
So he was very and nefe balanda fye ngataudi very careful to monagona kan nefe balanda fya chine. He was very calm and he's saying no nimbomfya binoculars and I'm wishing the president a quick recovery. When in fact the president is very alive, very active, very okay. So I really don't get where to fit such kind of narrative. Yeah, but you are wishing bad on someone, ulefu kulowa, ulefu kuipaya, ulefu muntu arwali, because what else is there? I think the Zambia police need to visit Bonagajinda to find out what exactly he was referring to when he said the president is sick. And that we ship it. In binoculars,
Mushamulela that he was very calm when he was saying something like that. Mwalimu fwako yali amashirunga bae bati babula strainer na babula sefa. Ero banga nga mulefu okumona muntu wabula sefa. Tababa fya aba biringa nati yo inenshipereni. Bale muntu matika sende sefa. Ubike muame uletere muamenshi. aya butukolu birwalenda fe panono abula na sefa ile ine ili mwefipunda aisula na tap yale epita menshi yale epita eida calmness bulwere bulya mu mutwe calmness ile ine mlanda chawe bale moneka fyo mutuntulu amashiruta babiringana baba fya batuntulu aba bamoneka kwati batuntulu kanshi balwere abula sefa abika mu menshi yale epita mu mule mona fya ero mwamuna tubishe kanshi batuntulu ekimo chine na fya fine mule mona.
Okay, no. In any mental health worker, so Gladys, therefore, if Banaga Chinda, na balwala, I will not even talk about this. It's because of a mental illness. I want to be very clear. But we cannot talk about a person who is mentally ill, behavior yakwe. So therefore, I'm sure if it's mental illness, I'll never talk about Nagachinda again. Nomba ngakukwata omutima obubi because omutima obubi na mental illness are completely different things. Nangokutumpa. Okutumpa and ukukwata omutima obubi. It's completely different. But if it's illness, Munjebe, Bahimba, I know that no one has diagnosed him, but if there is a diagnosis for a mental illness or Nagachinda, we can't talk about that. He needs treatment.
Vamunsha, in our culture, therefore we are Western world. In our culture, balandati ubushilu bulwele bulapola ubupubata bupola. I think for us to respond, tend landati bupuba bulya.
Okay,
you know, because
Wolfie.
So tufumiepo mental health, I think Mkwai.
He just makes things up, right? But
yeah, he hallucinate. Hallucinate.
Because I mean, we've talked about it over and over. Coming back, that you've done mental health. Himba, you are in the same category. I'm in the same category. I'm looking okay. To afumia hapo nangu from the cultural perspective nangu mnishi tuleo lolesha nangu na mabuko na reality. People fwe bantu majority au generalize abantu kuchitefi ntwefu bachita especially imamule andati bambi balanda tibana kachinda bambi andati nakachinda ine nanda nga kukano kuchindika nishi nikana akanono kana kachinda nishi mwaka chefi yani kana kachinda. People behave the way they behave because there's something wrong somewhere. Something is terribly wrong somewhere. And it's a chain. For you to find the root cause of how he's behaving the way he's behaving, the people who surrounded by him, they are thinking that whatever the way he's behaving, it's normal. It's actually normal. Those are signs of some psychological, some mental issues. And somebody has to chip in. And it's not even something we can laugh about. The next time there is a big problem. Somebody should be concerned to say, why should somebody be saying something like this? It comes from somewhere and it's a process. And please, ama health workers, ama mental workers, you have to chip in and mutuale ko muntu baka mchecking ko mumutwe if his brain is okay. Insoko shirimbina shisokoloka na screws na yafuma so that mukayabike pamo before it gets too late to sevana sana.
Right. Thank you. So this was a prelude discussion. Uncle Bob, can you hear us? Mr. Bob Nkosha. Yeah, I think we are still having difficulties connecting with Mr. Bob Nkosha, also known as Uncle Bob, and has acted through a stage name, a very popular stage name of Dorika. And Dorika Ndaifundila. Ndaifulila.
Mkwai.
Ndaifulila or Ndaifundila? Bohimba, is it Ndaifulila or Ndaifundila?
Vamusha ndaifuulira nemwine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he goes by that. He has done several.
That's his character name, yes.
Yeah, that's the character name. So Uncle Bob, I think we are having difficulties connecting with you. Can you try to switch off the video and then just remain with the audio? Let's see whether that will make a difference. Yeah, let's see whether just the audio is going to make a difference. Anyway, coming back to our discussion, in about 9 days' time, we are starting 2022, and there is a lot that is going to happen, particularly to Anatwe School grade 1. I don't know when the day exactly, and the most exciting thing is that parents don't have to worry about school fees. That's a very, very huge achievement, I think. Kukasambi kafika grade 1, no kukanone ka Vaseline, and off he goes to school.
Very interesting.
We really thank the new Dawn government, and we are so proud of our president, who've really looked at the foundation of education, because we all know that in each and every human's development, from 0 to 7 years, that is a very cardinal foundation. Elovaisa learned that from 7 years up to grade 12, abana balaya ku school for free. What our president is trying to say is that he doesn't want umuntu lyonse to miss the foundation. Tabaleva omuntu lyonse kuba disturbed foundation. All he want every Zambian, because by the time you get into grade 12, you'll be able to read and write. You'll be able to understand the policies of the country. So bakateka tule batasha ala apate pakuleka bapitirishe bamunsha pantu. If babomba, it will also help us ukufumya ba group 8 abatulera ndati mashirwa abatulera ndaba group 8 abakwati barefirwa kuchita understand ama policies. In the next few years, we are going to find that every Zambian, whether valia ku university, valia ku college, at least they will be able to understand the policies. And takwakabe ukababepa ukabapela quoted ama subsidies aisa mukubabepa, because they'll be able to understand the policies. They'll be able to read. They'll be able bakula kutika kuchilimba and analyze all. Every Zambian person is going to meet at least basic education. Tapakabe ukashalila. Whether mwana wamfilwa, whether you come from a disadvantaged background, whether you are rich, every Zambian is going to access basic education.
And that's exactly what is going to be happening in about 8 days. Number, it does not mean that you number because it's free education. Instead of keeping the money for your children, at yom kwaiba aichile mabatu pela free education. Let's have a Jameson nangulutuku. But Gladys Barandira Rutuku na Jameson, Fimofine, Jameson ni mutsungu. No, Bane, save that money. There are still more expenses to be paid. So do not go and finish that money at you, because children are not paying school fees anymore during this festive season. No, please don't do that. Gladys, do you agree with that advice?
I definitely agree. At least this time, ili akale kwa aliati ngatawasa mbirila nombanga wayamusenda reji ati umapo signature ati bayafuatika. No more kufuatika from next year. At least our children, grandchildren, they'll be having an equal opportunity to know at least how to read and write. Even though people are different, we are all not the same. We learn in different ways. Some people are more intelligent than the others. At least now, baka kwata opportunity yako but baishwa fyo kuberenga a e I o u mame na hapa kufuatika atabaka fuatike nomba baka ishwa part. This is where I have to put up a signature. I end here now. I can see that Uncle Bob is here.
Uncle Bob, can you hear us?
I think Uncle Bob ngabachi fumiako video, then basha audio, then we can just interact through the audio because I think network that it can't allow us. It can't allow him. You are muted, Uncle Bob.
Yeah. Difficulties with technology. And so please, when my parents, we are appealing, I'm appealing. When my parents, I'm appealing to you. Don't, the money for your kids next year, don't say no, because Vahichilema has given us free education. Let's eat the money. Don't eat the money, okay? Your children would still require books, pencils, pens, nafimbi, nakachola, particularly by grade 1. Because grade 1 is a very, very exciting time. Akamwana. Akamwana katampe school, grade 1. Nishna mukasam.
So bamusha tetu spa wireko. Tetu spa wireko fyolo tubiri fyo tu Jameson. Mwala tuipa ya fwe bambi. Tulu tukolo tukatata tubiri fye teti.
No.
Bahimba tatule sumini shok supawila ama Jameson efo fine mule fili lwange bangabaya isa misala mkese baba MP mukaya fili okulanda instead ya kulanda ya Jameson mukafira no kuirumbula mukafira no kuchita spell at Jameson.
So take question.
Gladys.
Uncle Bob, are you there?
Now bachita mute.
Yeah, no, it appears like you've muted yourself on the audio, and so we can't have your voice. Uncle Bob, once you unmute yourself on the audio, we should be able to have you. So we'll have you. I think the audio will do far much better. Yeah, I think we'll do far much better. Anyway, the thing is the lasting effects. Pantunga wanwasa. Okay, mlienda tukunwafe pano na invahimba.
We.
Bahimba balenda kunwa atabantu kunwafe panono not kunwa sana just a little
muri panono bamunsha mwali umfwako omuntu landatina lawana wakofe panono eba chimono kweba ati yo atukulaya kwa chibemba ati nalaya bapita ko one step ati yo lekeni nachilabako nafira nachimieba bapwilamu ati nalaya emkwikalisha chawe kanwe kofe panono tefyo yo tabaya tabafika takuli panono.
Yo, ba Gladys baka na
bamunsha life yala ba boring bamunsha lyonse fye mwali bafye soba moneka fye filya soba palasti batampa okula ipusha mushe bamayo aba bali bafye no straight lonse bamoneka fye abama serious.
I think Zambia was under the influence for many years. So in Onshtakanshi, we are very excited to have soba. Na if we soba to take a charo tumone if you Arab. Mamona. Bantu it was under Muntu under Jameson. So these are the years of sobriety. If you so even children are going to benefit because during this Christmas, sobriety money will be saved, and then kids are going to have plenty of books, plenty of pens, plenty of pencils, and it's going to be a great time. Anyway, but I take your point by him, I think, so we're glad it's how mbaso minishe kofie a little bit. Kusende na limolu pia, so tekuya, you don't take like 3,000, no, wasenda fika 100 kwacha, now we should work up imataka, eko nalaya bomfia to do whatever I have to do. You leave the rest na bamayo kunganda. You leave it with bamunsha kweba ati himba atinwe kofye panono batila ati chishinka chifuma mumuntu unwinemo no mwana omunono. So without a sober mind nifyo fine nga wanamo panono kwamba okula sokolo lati bali abantu mwambo okukonka seni munsende panondi ne Jameson seni munsende lekeni ukukonka aba mabaino seni munsende nishimwa mabikamo.
Atimbira ya mushi. Eyo apaponse bekere fye nga nani kanega bapungwa balero lele ati basompole esabi. Nomba lidabi ne babika mufika Jameson yakanono bamfa nomba mwali mfu ekisungu efo kifuma omuntu nga nabika mu lutuku na Jameson. Ekisungu kwamba okufuma nomba kutampa fye okupunda. Come and get me. Come and get me.
Wampitirira abamuleko nkaba Faith awe tebo wa Forest 27 tebo ni nebo pano
Kainish nababika mu nomba ekisungu kyamba okufuma. Kyamba okufuma.
nakara jira fuma.
Ati ngoli muwaume wise unsende leka abo bonse abo lepita kumbali nokuimene nokushipa sana. You mean, why are you going after everyone who is around me? Why can't you come and get me? If you are strong.
No manga sababikire mapanono kuichefya ngababika mapanono ichisungu kwamba okufuma left right center.
Tatu aunfena confession.
Sana ati saumbone wise. Dimwa umeine.
Nombali atwabe bateka nyeni.
No, ulya mwakonka nali muishiba. Ulya na mwakonka mukaya. Ulya mwakonka kukasumbaleza nali muishiba. Uyu mwaile shukula impia mubwendo nali muishiba. So nomba mulense tinga sana. Just come after me. Come after. I'm appealing to you. Come after me.
Yeah,
so mwamu na Jameson Yusuma. So tuifumi hapo fe complete Yusuma.
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob
we
na
a very nice picture. The issue is the sound. Hello, can you hear us? Yeah. Yeah, I think we are still experiencing issues. We need to do away with all this English technology, Lahimba. I think we are very reliable technology from Luapula. I think because I think to Asia, I'm internet to Afirwa. So I think we need technology from Luapula.
Idea bakatereka lumba.
No, inete nshirumbuire omuntu. Nibo mwarumbula omuntu. Baramichita su. Kuzambia na chishupa nombo kulumbula omuntu. I think we need new technology pantu ikwene yafiri kwa. Ero Bob Nkosha balala nabo bene. Obwanga bwabalala. Kuti babomfye pako basitwalanda nabo because this internet is so difficult. Mwasumina wa Gladys.
Amale ubwanga bwabalala abalala muleba bafyashi banje ati abalala ubwanga bwabalala nala milasa amalege ni nangu limu bandume yandi ndenga milasa amalege ni ngaba mwankole.
Am I getting it?
Yes, we can get you. Now for voice.
Vamunsha mwachilanda kopa mwachilanda ati vela yamukunwa nga bali abekata kwa bate mwefya kutonya tali na bena balatwala kwa empia kulya na kwena lande niko chili empia shila kuma side chiki shila isa kubana bana ma uniform nensoko shishabuta na kwenga mwashimpa shimpapo.
Okay, so you are concerned that we've only mentioned Avanua, but we've not mentioned Vachitongfwa. Okay, but also, our dear listeners, next year, there is free education. It means you don't have to worry about school fees because the President Haga in the Hichim, now that deliver free education from grade 1 to grade 12. No worries. If you come January, you are worried about what will happen to your children. It's no longer there. No. We said, if you have money, don't go drinking at Panto Hichimana to pay free education. No. So don't go drinking. In addition to drinking, don't go if you're chita. If you're baranda, and so don't go to give money to side chicks, Don't do that. And we should advise our citizens not to give money to side chicks.
I would advise our citizens definitely not to kuperati kutuma small houses twakanya mwali tuishi watu yanda tulio twakukanyerere mwali kuishi bakukanyerere kuloko akwebatinga n'abalala mukayanda amolu n'ayapula but n'abafuma mungande akwebati bali chindama bayalala amolu n'ayapula. For me, I'll just appeal that ishwendalama nga munamusenda tulio tusaka twandalama nga namukwatesha extra. Twale niko pali bane bopo mwamona tikali akamwana kalenda fye kale yana makasa na tropico ikwete waya mwaya kalanda fye atikwena kalekeni nkatoleko na kena kutilimbika isasanguka koni nebo mwaya kalipirira ko ku school mwangu mwakalipirira ko fenangu ni 2 terms nishi mwabomba bashichichi ukuchira mwaya mukutwala mayanda ya maglasi yalya mwamona nomba kwa tampano okulafu motunya
Tunya tulikwi.
Bamushanga baya mukulala mu mayanda mwakwe bati bafuma mukabire baya mukufaya palelo kamolu na yapulo okufuma nani kane finchi fifumamu ati fyakuli obushiku fitulikira kumalushi kufuma mwafumo otunya nombo otunya na twena tukesa mukwaya ma uniform.
But Gladys,
No, but the way you are putting it, you're putting it as if this issue is just for the poor. I take great exception to that. Everyone now bakula ama mansion bamobamo nishabalumbule because I'm a lawyer nshifwira okulumbula abantu. But not umfuati kuliama mansion ni Forest 27 area. Ubuteko bule pokolo la fie. Are you telling me that it was a ramshackle house uko abantu baya?
Bamunsha bafuma mu mansion yali ene ero baya mkusenda muri ene ama ramshackles muletira ta ramshackles mulamwino mo first nga balala ko first umwenshi umo amolu yale epita kumbali na bakoswe bale epita pamolu ero balanda ati nomba omunala akufumyamo ero baya abakulira nomba nanikane aya amagalachi yali ene amayanda ifikulu efikankala nomba nga bale ekitefyo bale twala kona tuliotuwa bamwene pa tuliotuwa otumisepero tunini utunono na twena batulangulukira ko batuloleshako baya tulipirira ko kuskulu limbi kuti balesa kuti baya aberera ko limbira ngo baya abocha babashako fyameno.
So nomba ba Gladys, are you saying we should lead by example like bashimpundu na bena techimo chine bashimpundu nababika na family photo imbi turasoba mubebe kona bena tubabike neya namba tutuimone pa Facebook family photo ebabikire bashimpundu nababika bana babika so nakulya kuna kumbali na kwena batubikire kona kwena
aho bahimba nala balandirako baba bepeshafi no bakayere baba bepeshafi. I'm telling you
ni mwaba mwali mwabalelisha wiso.
No. Tafupanga vya sensi vya kovati. Abantu barabepesha mwewa abantu babufi. Awe ukulolesha vyo muntu uleipitira fye. No. Tauba posishima kubaposha. Uleipitira fye we mwine weka. Bakubepesha atinerifu moliobe.
Bamunsha
so
abantu nga bali 5 tetimule ipitira feta mwa mukumishemo fye bayisa misonta fyati nimwe bobwini tetiba misonge nani kani amala yambushi mumukoshi ati nimwe bo bamunsha mwali ipita fyapa iyo nangu mwali kumyako fye ichikulufye nga mwali pampanshanga fyapine banani kale bapike chela bale andati bushena chiti bantongole aisa ikata mwatini apa pene tibese mamisonte fyati ni mwebo nishimwali ikatako
awe mwandini abantu barabepesha even mukaye kuma local courts sit in the local courts Umuntu wakaere n'okutonya tatonyesheko. Enso ashirero leshakofye bamubepesha ati nerifumo lyobe. Efichitika. So inekanshi shimpundu DNA, I'm defending you mwandi. Bale kubepesha fye. Iliria shitaulishive at 1, 2, 3. Nombana number 4 at fiance fifyobe. Aw.
Nkabini ngolefu okukana ati toma mufibala. Kuya muikata mumufibala baya toma momo mwine muli toma muli fibala. Ukwe bati ochoke ngolefu okuwenda ati ndiwaka ele ine. Winshinga mafi ya mbushi mumkoshi. Ale njikatapa kuboko umbone tumone ale kabiri tumone tuleya ififine baleta basungu ifya kumona mona ale tuleya tumone ngate wimbika mala wimfimba mala yanko katuishinga yambwanga yanko komumukoshi.
So bamusamlela ni donki da ale chita piki naka piki tori o donki achitike pali.
No, what I'm saying is it's very possible ukweba tuwe muntu uleyipitira fye. Bantu abantu abakulu omuntu erimo kola boko babepesha nefyo taumwene ati niwe omwene nefyo ta wiketi ati niwe wikete noko tautoneshe ati niwe otoneshe uleyipitira fye we mwine we kati nerifu molyobe efyo ndera ndafati it's possible kuba tumuntu kuti bamubepesha no mana mwishira ifafwe bawushi we don't believe in DNA so dimbi kanchirimbi akasumine fye bantu abana dimbi Don't go there, ladies, because if they did DNA in Zambia, we move away from Ushi tradition. Twaya pangama DNA on every child in Zambia. Chikashupa.
Vamunsha yote problem. Efe twala tamba nomba pregnancy test yakulaisa na DNA. Antu ni 50-50. Ni 50-50. Abalumendo balabutuka. Akana omo eri asheri eshibe fye bwino. Akana pantu mwali babiri. Nabena bana mayo babona ati gentleman nguria gentleman bamona public appearance akagai number 1 ka belt ka clean collar ni hapa tewetale satapafuke chushi tie nayo. So ni 50-50 hapa. So tusangize solution ekwa to saving abana bafile ba chita benefit they should benefit from their their birthright to benefit from their parents. It's totally unfair. The other children are suffering just because my mother was a side chick and well others are benefiting. For me, it doesn't make sense. Pantuba kuwe amakawadi. They are not, yes, there are men I respect so much who are going to say, okay, fine. I was married and I had a girlfriend and I impregnated. This is my child. I'm not going to let my blood suffer. I salute them and I respect them. And there are other women who also say, inabalechita konkonko vadi 50. So shishibe. Mwamona, it's just the diversity of society. Wamona ni vatembo ni vawiso kuchipata nombo dating so the palu works so lekeni. So it's just a 50-50 way. But at the end of the day, abachula vana. This is what I'm appealing. Let us be courageous enough, especially men. Olwaka 50 kwacha oleponya kuli banyina panono abana bakwatako 3 basic needs kapore julu chelo na sugar palanchirelo badyako akamusalu nembalala ichungu just that the basic needs ekwat na iwa mapaloko yale kukonka.
So inefe nasanga mumufyo mwalanda ponse ba Gladys na bahimba fyako bati all of you men abakobe bati bali mbibika mu mwili ya shiri abana please, in fact, because there will be a lot of disposable income because kariaka thing next year nabakafunyapo bahichle manabapera free education. It means then that you can divert some of that money ukuyasungira mu abana bamunganda nabambi abana abamunganda ishimbi. So please take some money there as well. Even when things are in dispute, because sometimes I'm siding with Shimpundu DNA. But in the meantime, kutwala ko a little bit. Nishuwasumi no mulandu, ngawatwala kwa kanona.
At course, sumi na mulandu bamunsha abana badanishi whatever for balech tabaliko tababalembere enkalatati fwe mukese pange fitu kese fyalwa, but nangunga bafyalwa, they deserve the right to know who their father is. Bafuire fe bakaye batinta fe mwitoloshi by power ukuya batinta fe nanguna abalala bakabananguna bakabanukuleko bamulamwine mu parliament nga balechita nankani nga balesa bayira baka bafumi omushishi uli bakaye bachita DNA test, because abana bali they deserve to know who their father is. Tabale mbere nkalata kuli uli wishi nangu kuli banyina ati bakese pano pacha.
Point is taken. And now there is a dispute there definitely. But tumwine nakana. Nomba kupatikisha. It's possible kwa tumuntu kutuba kubepesha. Okay, but kwena imagine kukubepesha 4, not at 1. Because 1 kutubara that ware ipiti na fie ero bakubepesha. Number 1 bakubepesha. 2 bakubepesha. 3 ero na 4 umwana wanyu na owine bare kubepesha fie nishi kwena nishi chisomo. Nomba na iwena mayo kwena pako batu number 1.
Bamunsha, he had a strategy. Bana Mayo, we are the victim of circumstances. He had the strategy. Efotale ila nakuli balaba na Maya aba changera bakweba ati bala musaka muna bebere ati pamwana umo ati umwana umo tuleimana na iwa meno munanikali mu tuleimana na iwe na mamumeno. Aile kuli wa kweba ati mwaiche teshi befya lechita, but the society we live in today, now there is internet, people are waking up. Na bale bonse abakweba ati niba group F niba group Z bonse bale ebuka, they get around, they get to iwe kuti nayona ya chitafia fina wena wikalile fina wikala fia tindwi walikwata na bana nikale baposa ati na nikane 2 million ya shopping buka na iwe one wasa data we kabi balanshitira ko talk time nga bayise fine balanshitira ko talk time 2 balandalika kona munani kane katushinga ni mu motel omu afipu 3 atikai balinshitira kona ka 3310 abananko balambala tampokula museka iwe omuntu ko enankane na mairo umona abantu babiri batatu ichishele ko nomba asavu ko mlandu because of the society. Amana now this is not, it's enough is enough. Ale mona abana bamunanko bale basunga bwino abamunganda abana bakwe bena tabeshibe no bushikubala ya breakfast. Yo, we are the victim of circumstances, Vanamayo. So somebody, that kind of a man has to pay. He has to pay in whatever way. It's a pity that katuishinga nilo Yesu na mana anikane na mana anikane what is charity organization. They have to chip in. They have to chip in for the sake of the children, because abana bena ebale chulira mutebeshi bewishi nyina tabomba aluisha fefo file just because mwana kashi. They have to chip in to save the lives of their children.
Like this. Vaisa vanuishe ya number 1 na wikala. Ya number 2 ni 50 kesi na yena. Vakunuishe ya number 1 wai munatia ingira bora vaingisha. Wapenda 1. Vaingishe ya number 2 na yena mayo. Wapenda 2. Teti njeko go post number.
Him banani common sense is not common for everybody. It's not common sense for everybody. I'm just getting back to the same thing that the internet, thank God for internet. Internet today has awakened a lot of people. Iyo ine number 1, number 2. I mean, kwa bakala kweba mushimba bakafyarisha fyabana na mairo bale kapela fika tuishinga na pali 5 kwacha because poverty ilelenga mnombe chere konga dilali ne baleka nombokula posa kuna ila 5 kwacha kabiba mona kwa kanyu ka side chick kanyu mukanyerere baleko kumupela abuka popeni. So I mean, you can't blame yes, you can blame the woman in some small instances, but just because you are a woman and mulandu abantu ama pocket yali isula, they've got the power to control because of money, and they should not get away with it. Nishta ba ile fwa ila masle queens yale amasle queens aya kwe bati alisaka mukamkanwa because ba lishi bati bale badonsa mu manani kani.
Gladys, we are assuming a lot of things here. This is a very huge issue of public interest. So what we are asking is, we've been joined by Alinda. What we are asking is that there is a little bit of fairness, in the sense that abantu tabaleba bepesha, you know. But to everybody, every man out there, next year there are no school fees because the UPND government, they've already paid school fees next year. So number that extra income, please take that money to take care of your children. They are equally. Nabadala mwairesha kukapoto. Badala mwairesha kumisis. Akwa John Leng. Nakuri tuliotumaya ndaba Gladys balandi lotu akoba na ulala. Amolu yalipanze kutuboba. Bana benu. So please take that extra money and take care of those children. It's very important. Otherwise, Gladys balandi lokoba teresa ngaya mukumyocha. Ataka myocha sana. So Gladys barefo ati lesanangwa myocha ka myoche kofi half mukashare ko panono. Mlandu wako, but you were taking care of your own children. Now, of course, the jury is out on whether the specific topic in a topical person Chimpundu DNA is actually the one or not. He has sued. It's right now in court. And so abantu arabara bepesha mwemo. But anyway, the point is taken by him. Can we move on?
Yeah, we move on. As we move on, I just have imbila. Therefore, kubire imbila naine. Imbila ile kuonseba na mayo na bashtata. The most painful thing in somebody's life is to let a woman bring up a child and then you come and demand for benefits from that child you never brought up. You start watampa nokulabe pa awe banokobale kufisa awe banokobale extension. That is you don't know the trauma you live in these children's lives. Mwebana mayo, let us try to be honest and let us try to be, let's think of our children. Let's not think of today only. Let's think of tomorrow. Even when you are gone, what happens to this child? All of our wish ni nchushi muleke numwana amone ba wish. All of our wish bali ni bachintomfa ni ba wishi. Muleke numwana ashtenshi have na right to enjoy the parental relationship, the relationship with the parents. Na imwe bashtata ili ngituleshwa sometimes mlapela mapafuta mlaba ready. Sometimes it's not even the money the child needs. It's just a relationship with you. You know, don't deny the children that relationship. Don't deny this child you know to be your child, to bear your name. Don't deny this child whom you are very sure at mwana wenu, but pantumule tina tukunganda baka mchita pantumwali upa mwalipela. You know, life but find a way of embracing these children. Find a way of at least ababana mbachita accept na bena bamfu twalishwa tabana bamchigololo bastard children, we accept, but that is what society is all about. But in each and every circumstance, please think of the children. Put your interest aside, put your pride aside, look at the children at hand.
Because ngamapango mulando kuya Vietnam mpango mulando kainge mulando na mupere fumo so kama pere fumo tadi nishina mupere fumo number what is the deal? Come if you're honest, and because your mwana still needs vawishi. And so this is
thumbs up to all the men out there who at least nangubali kwete omwana kumbi, they go out there basumina tawe umwana wandi nangunshire kupa but umwana mwana wandi. for me, I'll give them that respect and also recognition to say they've accepted that this is their children. We don't want those men abakwebati umwana wabo ngaisa abanikateka ero basensera n'okusensera balesi n'abasunshira n'amatoloshi ati mwana wandi uyu mwana wandi umwana tawaposereko nanguli buku lya mpamba nanguli tebera lya mpamba lira wamona nyina alepya n'akasuba ekaliri okushitisha atwala omwana ku skulu without even having from nothing. Ero waisa na wimya ne toloshati yo mwana wandu wale mufisa, and yet you are hiding out there ulechita neglect abana. But for those who have accepted that they've got their children and at least they are able to support here and there, thumbs up to you. You are the real men. And I mean takwabo muntu uaba complete. People have once abantu bali kwatama mistake, but at least accept your flaws that you've done this and not just neglect those innocent children. You should stop that. Bakula michita vitendeni.
Ingaba abaumi abakulisha abana kwali bana abaumi who look after their children alone nishikana mayo kali balala nako kalia kwali babaso.
Right, yeah, the same applies. Yeah, but families, it's very complicated, and so today, what leads us to this discussion is the fact that there are no schools to be paid next year, and so what we are saying is because there will be more income, right? Because President Hakainde has paid school fees, it's so paid. So now, because that is done, it means then that families are going to have more disposable income. What should they do with this thing? We say they shouldn't go drinking it. We are winner impia. Jameson naluduku. Kanofie mwanwako panono. And then the second thing is, you shouldn't go and do chigororo. Obuchende. Impia shamu. Discussion out of control DNA and a lot of complications. But I think consensus to Kwete is that during this festive season, please let us spread the cheer. Nogia tuwadira kwaka no kubana badi in small homes. Ero mwadishwa no kuishibati pari bomwana. Yovane. Let's do something about it. Because ababa naba bakabani ba president, bakabani ba minister, bakabani ba shanshan. But the other complication is one parent suffers for this child. And when this child grows up, suddenly they want to connect with the other side that neglected them. Human curiosity, okay, who was my parent? And so you go searching after them. Inside thing, you can't even explain it. You know, sometimes even wanting to make things so nice for the other person that neglected you, whether it was a mother that neglected you or the father that neglected you, that human desire to try and connect. Very interesting human stories. But today, actually, we were supposed to be talking to Mama and Uncle Bob, Idiashi, because of your internet number, to Aingira na Idiashi have a very, very complicated DNA. But I wouldn't encourage it, but Mama families, but they introduce DNA. It's one family.
Kalefe bamuno bamunshiriri ashitukalira ndepo bwino tuka chitama departments yonse. But above all, as you said, we are here, we are saying bali alilipire mpia nalipire mpia. So imwe ba binoculars mwikale bali nalipire mpia mulolere ata mulemo. I don't know, I think bali kwatana selective seeing ababa binoculars pali wefyo bamuna fimo tafimoneka mulya mumwabo tafimoneka ati bali nalipire mpia tafimo elo but you know bali nokulanda ati I'm seeing there's nothing this government has done. Amakada zayabo twalifumya whether mlefu ata mlefu twalifumya atawe kuchiri nkondo bantu bali babika muri mara and bamunsha. Did you know that mu PF bali kwata abantu abachita 100 meters bena olafumo balachita defeat balabutuka na olaba kwata utuma poti bere tatumoneka but fyonse fya na balaba When Barry has removed the cadres from the street, we know it's not going to happen overnight. It will happen gradually. But PF, by binoculars, mwalibika, you've dented our country. So ikaleni. Ngamulefwaya, we fundraise money for you to go and have your brain scan. I think we can. Tituachitako tuma match past mumsebo. Pantuisha mahala muli bali tashabamo. But be assured,
You
know,
as and thank you, Himba, and as Stevie Bakwetu, we are getting asked this question to say the election is over, right? And you, as Stevie Bakwetu, you've lost a significant audience. That's what some people are telling me. You've lost significant audience. So I think much of our audience, because they're too busy, that's why they are not here. But that is not a major concern for us. And so the question is being asked, why can't you let go and leave the past be the past? And what I think is, we need to be very, very serious in our country. If we have left the past behind, the past has not left us behind, unfortunately. The other thing is, the Patriotic Front, the party itself, it was a criminal enterprise. Even now, they still want to come and continue confusing our people. So look, we campaigned for this government. We can either abandon it and say, okay, Nomba Mwateka, stay on, continue with whatever it is. What should we do? Should we leave this government alone? Because the PF has not left this government alone. The PF is creating lies, number one. Two, the PF is deliberately hiding the loot that it stole from the people of Zambia. If you, as our audience, you are telling us to move on and begin talking about something else, talk to us. But how can we abandon our revolution to where these thieves, these Kelenkas, are beginning to have a higher voice? If they continue lying to the people of Zambia, it is our calling, our duty to help this revolution. And if there is any help that the Patriotic Front needs to help our people right now, it's to go to a non-temple, open his house, go to every bedroom in his house. Ukuyashi kulenda lama anon tembo aiba. Ewa umetulefwa. Elo number not only that, ukumuipusha anon tembo. Atabo wa perenda lama nivanga. So that we go and grab that money. The Patriotic Front is unwilling to do that. Then it is a criminal enterprise that wants to continue making the people of Zambia suffer. And we have a moral duty, a moral obligation to continue advocating for our people, even when it is our government that is in government right now. Gladys.
I'll just add on a little bit on what you've just said. For the people who are complaining that we are not in campaigning mode. No, I mean there is no future without the past. Even Mweba Group A, Mweba Sambirila, whenever you are writing AMA projects, you keep on referring to old models. Maslow, whatever, Max Weber, you keep on referring to the old models because that's the past. Today we are in the modern world. We are referring to the past, writing about the future. And without the past, you cannot refer to the future. and you cannot address each church couple. You have to have some kind of a reference for you to see if are we forging ahead? Is there something wrong? And if we keep, you can't just keep on continuing talking about the future. For example, ngana mukwata omwana alufyanya mairo anyera mumpoto omwanyera na mairo akabwekeshapo. You have to say, do you remember what you did that time, so that that child keeps on being reminded that abeko a better child tabwekeshepo if ya chitire mairo. So that has to be talked about. Nangu ikaveni next year, we will still be in the campaigning mode. We will keep on talking about the past because we want a better future. You cannot just continue at yo if you feel no. Nothing is going to be rectified if you don't refer to something which has been happened bad. Otherwise, bakula konkanya kufyo kunyera mumpoto banyera na pambali. Ifya shala bakali no kuli abene because tabeshi befo bale chitanga bale chitefi tunturu nang tabale chitefi tunturu. So we have to keep on talking about it.
And so I agree, Gladys. I agree, Himba. That is our solemn duty and responsibility. These guys are well funded. Simple. Where do you think Faith Musonda got her 65 million? This is not complicated. It does not even require a lot of degrees. It's a simple question. I have degrees myself. But here is the question. Where did Faith Musonda get the 65 million? It's a simple question. That's it. Now, where she got that 65 million can give us an indication of how much other funds are around the country. And then you want us to move on. Omuntu alebombere chalo under very difficult circumstances. Alunda ko petro pantu impie sha petro shows shankongole elo Faith Musonda naba nangwe badiba. And we as TV Bakwetu, we need to be criticizing him at yo nishu alundira ko petro kangi impie tapadi. And this PF, they're standing today by Manuel Mamba, the former ambassador in the PF administration, standing on the hilltops, shouting all sorts of things against this new government. And we are supposed to move on. If you are telling TV Bakwetu to move on, why aren't you telling Emmanuel Mwamba, Nagachinda, Given Lubinda, even opposition leader Edgar Lungu, to move on? Edgar Lungu himself is still leader of the Opposition Patriotic Front. You are not telling him to move on. You've not told him to say, you are not telling him that. But you want TV Bakwetu to move on. We are going to move on, I promise you. But not before this nation gets on the right trajectory and begins building a future for our children. Bamo abotu wafiala mayanda, erobambi abana abafialwa. Kulia kumbi kwinangu nabo bana. We are not going to surrender their destiny into the hands of thieves.
Krenkas. Wamusha, thank you so much. As TV Bakwetu, we have a duty, and our duty is very simple, is to save the Zambian people. And our priority is to promote good life for every Zambian, and is to stand on the right side of the law as TV Bakwetu. And one of the things we are so keen to do is to put on the hammer and go and preach the truth and stand for the truth, nothing but the truth. So if you are telling us to move on, we have no reason to move on, because the Kelenkas are still there. They are still doing the same things. None of the PF people has ever come on camera and said, we are sorry what we did to you. We are sorry amagasing twale migasinga mwebe na Zambia. We are sorry banamayo abaletukwa. We are sorry abantu abaipe, the people who were killed. We are sorry the people who were starving. None of the PF leaders has ever taken up that responsibility. And for me, these guys, they don't even have conscience. They're even going further. Muma TV station isala. When the wise people say, promote these institutions so that when out of power, you'll be able to use them. They knew what talking about. But PF, you will close these institutions. And Nomboko Mlevu Tukira. Actually, a message for this. Please. Charge a lot of mercy. So that's TV. As long as they haven't cleaned and as long as the Kelenkas, they haven't moved on, we are not moving on as well. If the Kelenkas go into the campaign mood, now if we pile papa, nimpindia dansho, we'll go into the campaign mood.
Yeah. And so I think that's clear. But of course, there are those in the UPND that must move on because they are governing. The president is governing. So so many of our audience, they're now in government. And we thank God for that. But when you are in government, sometimes you are limited to what you can do and to what you can say. TV Bakwetu does not have such limitations. That's why if these Kelenkas continue bringing confusion, akavundula among our people, we are equal to the task. And the reason is
we'll go for them.
Zambia matters. This country matters. Tatwale yanga lafye yo, ilo twala njiro kwa tutuombe la bena Zambia. It was tekali kabwambe nangwifisela. We like Ifisela, we like arts. That's why we were supposed to have Uncle Bob here, so that we get to know about his heart, his story, and stuff like that. Art is important. But stafia Ifisela yo. I know that sometimes we come out in a comical manner, but we meant business. We wanted to see change. We believed that Zambia can do better. We believed it then, we still believe it now. And nations are not destroyed by if you are, you know. It's destroyed by humans, people. It's humans who steal. It's humans who take money from the poor and bury it in their homes. And in fact, it's very good humans. Sometimes very humble, very wonderful. Abasuma. They're the ones who steal from us. We cannot shy away from pinpointing this human problem. And that's why we have been doing what we have been doing. We know that some of you are going to feel disappointed and think that TV Bakwetu was somehow betrayed, whatever you think we were there for. We were here for the people of Zambia, and we shall remain with the people of Zambia. If it means speaking to one audience, we are willing to do so. But we are not going anywhere. Even if one of us, because Nombe TV Bakwetu is now a movement, even if one of us is not there, TV Bakwetu still remains strong until we see what we believe about this country. It's country first. Even President Hichilema today, he was explaining. Concerned about 2026. No. I'm willing to make difficult decisions to move this country forward. That's what he was saying. Number Abadipo, the same people that are coming back to confuse you, as long as they were stealing, they were willing to let this country go into economic doldrums and confusion. As long as they were stealing, that's all that mattered for them. Nshekelako. stealing. As long as they were stealing, they were willing. Hello, you no. I want to steer this thing back. Free education. Money in constituencies. Paid all the retirees. That they are owing them. Equalization for all councils. My brother is a council worker in Milenge. He does that. And then we shouldn't, whatever it is. Gladys.
Yes, thank you, Bamunsha. And at least God has given us the eyes. We don't have to use binoculars to scan 360 degrees to see the wrongs. We have the eyes ourselves. We have our own natural binoculars, both behind and in front, wherever we are from all corners of the world. And I was actually moved by the statement of the president to say that he's not worried about the next election. Bamukukulu, because balishi wotupunda omubasha omubalefu ati nomba bakaepwirishisha mulamwine mubutalo omubasha. That's why they are so concerned that they want to get the power no matter what it takes. They've stolen so much that even the little bits. They are not concerned about the Zambian people, but if we tatuli abana bakusanga, tatuli abana bakunse, tuli bena Zambia, as long as we live, we are going to use our own natural binoculars, 360 degrees, to catch the turnaround, to look through. If you're feeling we're not going to stop talking. We're going to point out all the wrongs. We'll be airing out intimidate. We're not going to intimidate us. At least even the time we're going to reach 99 years, our souls will be rested in peace because we know that we have contributed the greatest to our mother Zambia, and you're not going to shut us up. And they will be happy to know that my mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother did the right thing to this country. Thank you.
Jacqueline,
Chungulopo mkwai mwane and
we were supposed to have Uncle Bob. We were supposed to have Uncle Bob. No, Uncle Bob, that Tafibombe, we know, network Yaluvana. In trying to fill up the time for Uncle Bob, our discussion was all over the place. Pachambira with the reforms that have been done in the education sector. And then we said, families are now going to have a lot more money because they are not paying school fees next year. So instead of drinking, no kubomfie mulibuchi bonfwa. Arefi tureterere pano. Arendete nije ashbachim.
Nkwaina totera lyashimukwete muno chungulo ife kuno. Mu education sector mwali ama issues sana. Twambe fena kuma desks. Desk ya kwa fati kuti mwapanga pamutengo wanangufya ati 250 kwacha. Abantu bale shita mu ministry mulya desk imonangu 2000 kwacha. So that's why our schools, they are so dilapidated right now, because any extra money that was supposed to go to teachers' houses and just general management of schools was not going. Someone alipangira poendalam. 2, the new policies of distributing sanitary pads to school learners, especially the girls, for free by this government is an excellent move, coupled with free education. So if we nemwati soka forever fiash kuno ku Zambia, mkonka nyepo. Because no mbaba anaba kashana, government yakula bapirako, if yakubonfe every month. So parents save. Already the challenge we've had in the country is our school girls have been involved in what is called transactional sex, especially in the rural areas. where abalimbi girlfriend waba truck driver and bus driver so walimpela kufika kaka 20 kwacha so that in a month she can run pa shop ashite kwa pads. No, but that comes with a lot of things, a lot of negative impact. Early pregnancies, early marriages, HIV, AIDS, and STIs that this country is battling with amongst the young people. They've got very high rate of STIs. Nombe Fiach by Hichilema and his government. It's an excellent move. And only a senseless person will stand on an ant-hill and still say, Ngefimulela anda ngefilechitika. Ila 65 million basangire na faith. Ni fimbi fyamba okufuma. Ushekwenanga tabakwanisha okufichita efifya chitaba Hichilema lelo. Chile kalipa bakwetu family when they condemn you people and many other Zambians who are saying what you guys did was wrong. Mubweshe konendalama. Lelo muntu tetiyeme ati ninchirani nebo mulemfwaya se ni munsende. Munsende nga nalibire endalama. Alelande fyo does he know dossier ikere nama nangwe. Na ishwa tulao no 65 million fionse for alesokolola is leading to him. Zambians are not fools. Zambians have struggled. In the last 10 years, Zambians were imparted with a mindset that poverty is okay. Zambians were made to beg for services and products that freely belong to them. So please continue hammering on PF. Even Emmanuel Mwamba, he cannot go on radio and say what he's saying. He's even the worst culprit where he sits there, and there are so many of them. Please do the good work you're doing, but I just want to say that the policy around education, the policies are excellent. There is a lot of burdens on parents. And I'm a parent, when I if it tube fiaba iluka, wishbati, abana besu ni future. So a president ngabasenda kolya burden, it doesn't mean that no money shineni lutukuka suba konse yo. You know? Then secondly, the PF bali rufianya. And will condemn and condemn until they are brought to book. Those found guilty have to go to prison. Those whose properties we can seize and sell or give Ama teachers, Ama provinces will do that. Right. Those who have stashed money somewhere and it's found, it has to go back in the treasury and work for the poor people. Na total.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very interesting that they're going to take that initiative of taking sanitary pads to schools. I think that would be very, very, very helpful. And so we commend them for making that decision. Very courageous. We're hoping that schools are going to be equal to the task. There is still more that can be done in terms of logistics and stuff like that. But every young lady, every young girl, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, they can be comfortable knowing that a government is going to help. And the whole point is because that's the most important thing. This nation can struggle. Nations struggle all the time. And every Zambian is willing to make that pledge that yes, we can struggle. We can. But we can struggle together, from the president to the least among us. We can struggle together. But it cannot be struggle where a president is distributing millions of kwachas to his girlfriends. Comfortable. Bantu napita mumbadi nombo wa wishibwan shupa. It cannot be tolerated where a president distributes money to his girlfriends to build mansions and to hide some of it in the house, in houses. And yet, sanitary pads cannot be delivered to a little girl in Milenge or a little girl in Chwempala. And you want us to move on and say we should show proof. Proof quiza. Proof epoidi. Faith Musonda 65 million. No sign. That is proof. We are willing to sacrifice, but we are not going to tolerate this thing. If I got Mwaiba, Mwaibira Balanda, and then Mwisa Mukuba Tumfia. ati se munchi katenga chakutira na mkwata evidence neto tetwa kuikatire na wishi but walifora Bombasa mbale fura Bombasa mwe bantu besu telu patofe twakwata tiyo mkwayo yumuntu twali mupata iyo nga twamuleka noyo aleteka ngechika mukanya nchinji ichika mukanya hakainde ichilema naye nokuba ati yebe poko watatwalira ama girlfriends bako nchinji nomba ngamona hichilema ifyo tuletita treat uyu alipo akamwenso kakengira mwana ine wine ngana twalira ba mama shani uko ngana twalira ba mama shani aba kumongu fika pena eka mwenso kanya. So we can't let it slide at yom kwa it's okay. It's not okay to steal from the people of Zambia is not okay. It will never be okay. Echoba non temborero, we are making it very clear whether taturepita na mumbadi yoba non tembo to adimishiba. Oh, indeke isha kwenda. Bali yashtendeke at an inflated price. Indeke. Who does that? Ukuyashita embassy kuteki at an inflated price to steal from the people of Zambia. This is not a human weakness. You know, we humans are weak. Tulalwala, sometimes the lack of judgment. You know, it's human. Those are lapses in judgment. You know, you are overspeeding your vehicle, lack of judgment. And every person has those lacks of judgment, Oshan. But stealing 65 million to give it to your girlfriend is not a judgment thing. You're destroying the future of this country. Naranda-san. Womukela
Chungolopo mkwai kimanzi bwani sichabasa Jesus chabasa bulozi komulutwela kaufela chungolopo mkwai bakwetu family, love you guys. You are always on the right topic, and today namulande chinka starting from Bagile Bahimba au Mwandina Musosa. Thank you so much for representing us so well. Ine, I'm not going to say much because I'm just a little bit disappointed at the statement that was issued by somebody who should continue be in a slumber or be in a hibernation and wait until the time when we remove the Bombasa. So that's when we can now come in. He can come in and say what he wants to say. And what he's trying to do is trying to play a reverse psychology. But sorry, Twalimi Shiva, we know how to deal with you. And we are coming for you. Do you know what it means by vicarious liability? You are a lawyer, you know what it means. Vicarious liability, the master is always the person that we are going to target. You are the one that we are coming for. Ababena, these Tuma minions, these are the chaps who tolerated and prayed to you. And just wait, because your time, my dear, it's coming. Now you're even giving us a reason to start the motion in Parliament. Definitely, the Bombasa will be removed. And once it is removed, we are coming for you. Now, whatever my 35,000, 35 pin career, we are going to increase now. It is coming with interest. With interest. And the practicing certificate, you want to pocket a charimo. No more law firms.
Yeah, we need to be clear here. Taturelanda the person nishishive ine neboshimabe. But quite to market. Mwa what a girlfriend. Don't go. We didn't be a chachalo. Eh? Mwa pay a girlfriend 65 million. No. if it's from your salary, it's okay. How can we intervene or interfere? Kangeni salary yenu kuti mwaishwa bwino bwino ifya kuyakanya. Makati no level kula panga mashina pendara mashavele indara mashachalo. Awe. Tatule that if you want to be shani, no, in never shima. But tatule that no, don't. But if you must, don't use taxpayers' money. No. Why not? Think it's taxpayers' money, way. My girlfriend. Stay to one month here to you that any kabwalala. Mungo. Umuntu wakuletera 65 million pakati kabushiko. Abragadabra. No mwanzo tetua tulumuka ko. Emwe bahimba mulikwi. Imagine basa muletera shiranda ino. Basa muletera 65 million. Bushite itmwa tulumuka komwe veri wafumya kwi. Kusenda mwafisa.
Nichichani chibamukerebai mwachichosa kuti.
Mureve baba himba na imwe kuti mwara ale no mukera bai katufise wino to fish it share nimwe mwamba no kusonto kwa kufisa
Vamunsha
Leisa tuli munshila
aho nishimuyesha no kwesha tata shidempia shiria vamunsha olowa shipokerera. You know, when we are talking about mental health, tatureva mwenamo tekwatureva that mental health yavapengi vamunsha. Just for you to accept such an unexplainable amount of money, something should be wrong with you mentally. And no matter how do you even keep something you don't need? The problem we have with our politicians are fumine MPF aba bala ibanefeta bakwete nchito bala ibafyefya alanda pilato atikoswe mumpoto uiba na bombasa nomba ifwe bamunsha olo balanda ati seni munsende nabe we are going for him ngani bombasa tukala lopola paka ipwe, and we are not going to keep quiet. We are not keeping quiet. If they think we are keeping quiet, they are wasting their time. We are equal to the task. Abalelanda tiseni munjikate bala tuchitamoko, it's okay. Bala tuchitamoko balanda taka ati bale salula nomba tude salula te dilolumboto alaingira mumutwe. We know the root cause, we know the bottom of everything what is happening, but what we are pleading from is seleni tubombe ko ba mankole twefo kuwembele chalo twefo kubombela abena Zambia. We want to save the interest of the Zambian people, and we want every Zambian to benefit from the national cake. Every Zambian, and we are not ready to allow you to hand over a rotten economy to our children. Tatu akasumine abana besu tatu akasumine imwena mpanga history, and your time is gone. Lekenukulota.
I don't want to interfere in the morals of people, but kwena bane ngamlefo kute mwana mlete mwana fye in ichitemu takwalesa. Yeah, mwandi ichitemu takwalesa. That's all. If you are going to love it, just love each other. Muchitemu takwalesa. Not ichitemu takwasa tana 65. Ichitemu just 5 million. Ichitemu takwasa tana. Vamwerwa, imagine 65 million hiyo ati ninkwata akanono mwasa mona 65 million ya isa kuti mwafu irisho kufisa.
I have a very inquisitive nature, so I think I would give someone a very hard time to explain where it came from and to justify my inclusion in the stealing it or in the hiding it. Yeah. So, how? Why say Pangafe in one day? Boom. You know, I think it's a matter of integrity, and a lot of what we are teaching our young women. I think especially Lusaka, we have a very fake
there's a fakeness to our lifestyles in Lusaka where, you know, I think because of being in the capital city, we assume money is flowing everywhere when actually money isn't flowing. And because you're pretending to live a particular type of life, it's very easy probably, I think, to agree and accept. There are a lot of women out there that don't question their men where the money is coming from. Now, of a side chick, I think there's a lot of questions you'd be asking if large sums of money were brought into your home. And if you're not asking it, why are you not asking it? So that we go back to because when I look at this lady by faith, she's not a poor woman. She had a job going for her. She's a married woman. So there are a lot of questionable things about her. But I think it's the Lusaka lifestyle. We live in a lot of in a bubble.
Unbelievable. Paulo, madam.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and good evening, viewers. Thanks for the chance to speak. You know, selfish knows no bounds. You know, then selfishness knows no bounds. And for Mbatulanda Tiwakare Matakareka, or a bit more deeply, we say imputi sula taibula kubweke sharp. So what we've got to understand here is a few of us might preach morals and hopefully hope that everyone will live by that. But selfishness, it starts from you pinch something now, tomorrow you go and pinch again. Tomorrow you go and pinch a bigger amount and your consumption goes up, which is what the PF are suffering from at the moment. You know, they were pinching all the time. Vale all the time, and they've stolen a lot. And they would like to continue that, which is why they are all over the place and talking a lot and talking even a lot more than the sitting government, which is where when some people say, no, but TV Wakwetu, you are talking too much, you should leave it alone. There's nothing like leaving it alone. You know, Shaka Zulu used to say, never leave an enemy behind because they will rise and come and destroy you. But PF are probably still more richer than the people who are in government at the moment. So if you leave them alone without following them, they can actually bring this government down, you know, and you can see that their priorities are all in the wrong places. You've got a person who, in the morning, is refusing parentage of his children. You know, it gives you a very good understanding of what goes on in their minds. You know, so they've got their priorities totally upside down.
Paulo, I'm on the side of Shimpundu. So ideally, no.
Kuchifu bwero batwala mattress imbi ku sales tekuyimafe nawo kano kuluchero ati yo washa ukano kushako tena ngunkala akito jinsure kulwa mfuo kona chi mattress Chelston kutwalira omuntu mukaramba
Paulo nemo bamubepeshe afye mwabashankashi
kabiri akaya ilondole akayitokobela yo banimpimene
yali amatanda
kabiri epo tuima wai mono bukangalume wayaye bati bambepeshe sewe mayo iwe mulopo yusendeni mupime nombale sano mulopa mambala oja pantu uri umunani ngakale wapo uri omulando uri. No, but on a serious note, on a much more serious note, and I wouldn't wish to go too much into parentage of that particular couple, I mean, children, but you can judge a man by the way they handle adversity, you know. A lot of people have got children in more than one home. You know, how they deal with that is entirely up to them. But the way they deal with those, the way they show responsibility matters a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it is typical.
And Paulo, I want to make a very clear divide. And so because TV bakwetu, I'm a preacher, and there are several Pentes here, and Zambia is a Christian nation. Sometimes when we condemn something, we are distancing ourselves from it. But we know that in reality, abantu outside and stuff like that. We are not trying to judge anyone. All we are saying is that do not steal from the government. That's it. Girlfriend. That's all. Pure love.
Great.
Pure love. No, because she's married. Pure love. Because you can't know. Pure love. Love from God. So
but that pure love should be financed from our own pockets. You know, I can't go and
from your own pocket. Don't go and use the taxpayers' money. No.
Exactly.
Anyway, Paulo. Patrick Chilubya.
Shan Bakwetu. I've been enjoying in Chintove Ntobelelo from the background. Yeah, Bamusha, before I forget. Yes, Bakabola Batafilu Kivedra Masha Shama Kofas, yes, Kutwala Kuma girlfriend, Babu Nangama, ama concubines, Babu. But the point here, Yaba DNA is that Takwa Baba Musha, Aba na folk kube pesha. Then again, Umkashana now. What was in her mind? Amafumo 4 more Malakana yon Samafumo 4. So I think no Balelo na balandati kwalaba DNA from the courts. No, but what I'm trying to appeal to the courts is that DNA DNA. They have to be very careful because they can fake the DNA. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe they have to take it to multiple hospitals. UTH, I doubt, because by PF they are still there. So, and then Bamusha on education. Yes, this government has done a tremendous job. There were a lot of people who were crying. But starting from January, it's gonna be fantastic. But that's a step forward. But then we need a good quality of education. Ama standards ya education kuzamba yali pona. If you look at the rating ya University of Zambia, I'm a listing worldwide, you cry Bamush. They are up on about top 1,000 universities in the world. So, and then also infrastructure. There's schools Bamusha, kumishikumiensu, go to half my way. Abana beka punch. So, infulanga yalo kalishamba book school kula nkuvomba. So, they need to do something. Then Bamusha bakabola la bendamba baiba. Obviously, Bamusha, there is no way faith nangwari kwetensitoshan enga sango nenda la mashana mayanda yonseria. And then palapa milenda mashakwa faith is just a small amount. It's just like a small fish in the ocean. Which means there is a lot of money hidden somewhere. That's why by PF by Munsha, they are so pompous. They have no remorse because they know that they've got the money. Adwa Munsha, he who has the money has got the power. And one of our Bakwetu said, if we don't check these guys, they can put this government down because they've got the money. They can do anything. So Bamunsha, once again, I think we need to appeal to the government to look at the issue of changing the currency. The fact that there's no money in circulation, banks have confirmed it, Zambians have confirmed it. So when there's no money in circulation, what usually happens is Bank of Zambia prints new notes so that we have enough money in circulation. So instead of printing new notes of the same features of the money, why can't they change certain features on the money, say 100 kwacha, na 50 kwacha, and print brand new notes?
Right.
Then you see aba afisenda lama. Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On a show that we should have had Uncle Bob Nkosha. For some reason, we had a little bit of a technical issue that has lasted for very, very long. And unfortunately, we have to end our show here and regret that we should have had Bob Nkosha. Pesi Chama.
Nanachirapo okulanda kupali bantu eno kane ababalandira ati munjikate nga ninjiba. Okay, kintu kite rewind. Bali abatata bakweta 10,000 kwacha the last time it was checked. But 16 months later, the geezer had 23 million in his account. Okay, Munjeve, this is just a guess. I would think the president's per annum should be about roughly maybe 40,000 pounds per annum. Yeah. So how can somebody make that much money in 16 months? What type of business can you do from a 10,000 kwacha? You've got a 40,000 per annum salary. Otherwise, that's 23 million in your account. Okay, I know na bana ba sister wandi bagire kuntwela ku group F kuchiradiva tatwaishive fingi sana, but olo ku group F na kwebene natuishiva takwava shamon awe ndimbi bamusha kutalanda po bamusha ndai pushako kwali bako business ni business yasha na futuka chite.
I think the Ashawa president should getting an interest one.
But again, this issue is not just restricted to Faith Msonda, but KCM, same story. Aeroplane, same story. Fire trucks, Honeybee, a purchase of a property in Turkey. But the KCM one is even closer to my heart because it's in Chingola, Valongo, Bapelo Mnabo company. And then Mnabo Ambo Quiba impia from KCM.
They were out of control those guys.
Yeah, but it's in the hands of the government. So many scandals. But anyway, Gladys, out of all of us here na bahimba, more of mwega mfuere fia Christmas. Na nini mfuere fia Christmas numa fili kunshi. Elo, out of good practice and good manners,
Nabamwelwa opo bali, nabamukela bayi nabeno opo bali, nabashala tatwishibe.
Bamukela bayi, ni Christmas ya, cha orange chiri abafuere.
Bamusha, we are saying this is a festival season. And from TV Bakwetu team, we are saying those who've offended others, like my PF, come and apologize. Talk to Amiere ko, but chile kalpefyo mwachitile. Alimu mujitonga tuamba utisimulu ula donda, ulula ja mujisa. Ula anda pachilonda, alande cha mukalipe, kwati fofo chat kalipe, filonde fyo basha ba PF. So this is a time for forgiveness, time for love, ba PF. Nazayo ali ale yelera no kuwesha fia ibirelo bamwelera so na mwesheni lero twala mielera. And those who've got children, both mothers, fathers whom we've neglected, please go and make peace with the children. Go and bless those children. You are carrying their pot of blessings and they just want to know how you look like. That's all they are looking for. So as TV Bakwetu, we are saying we love you. Go and make peace with your children, with the family. Give all of tufuma mama compound yukuchawama kudia tebonsa abachula, even abachula. A 10 kwacha, a 2 kwacha for your child will make a difference. Just to say, my son, I love you. Give them a hug, look into their eyes. That's all the kids are looking for. That's what we are looking for. Bashimpundu, hug them. We are so proud of you.
Vambi, we are happy to be sent as messengers on behalf of Bashimpundu.
baleke n'okubintu so umuchere pafilonda baleke okututumfya okulaimya otuma muscles ati samungi kati bantu tukesabe kati bakafirwa okunwa lutuku.
This has been a presentation of TV.
That's what we members say.
This has been a presentation of TV Bakwetu, Elias Musha here with our TV Bakwetu family. We hope that we can get Uncle Bob soon, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit about his story. Nevertheless, you stayed with us through the ramblings and a little bit of stories that we had today. Merry Christmas to everyone. We shall be back tomorrow. God bless you, and God bless our country. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.